Hi, I'm Maureen. I also go by Mo. This is Flow and Restore yoga class. It's a combination of gentle vinyasa flow with restorative yoga poses, and the emphasis will be on the restorative yoga poses. The idea of making this a combination class is that the vinyasa flow helps to shake out your energy, just let go, especially a good thing to do at the end of the week. Restorative yoga requires props. Don't worry if you don't have props. If you do have props like a bolster and blocks, then you're going to use them. And if you can see I'm doing this class outside while the weather is still warm. Get yourself outside and make space, even if it's in the yard or in a field. Um, but make sure that you have something warm to put on your body after you do the yoga, the vinyasa. So a jacket, a sweatshirt, socks, maybe an extra blanket. So, in substitution for the bolster would be lots of blankets, maybe three, maybe four, rolled up towels. If you are going to take it outside, they're easy to move and clean. Having a couple on hand. And today I'm going to invite you to use another prop for sandbag breathing. So this is something you might find at a studio. I don't expect you to have it, but it's just a lightweight. So you could grab a bag of beans, a bag of rice. This is 4 5 pounds. You're going to use whatever you have. A substitution for blocks is a hardbound book, which you could use as the weight that I'm gonna put the weight on your diaphragm later in one of the restorative poses. And another substitution for blocks are full toilet paper rolls. And one other thing, it helps to have your props all ready so that when we are ready to shift from the vinyasa flow into the restorative, you can just transition easily. One of the props that you're going to need is the rolled up towel. So I invite you to just go ahead and get that ready and set it to the side within easy reach. So it's just taking a beach towel, folding it in half, and then rolling it up on its longest edge. Call this a snake. We'll use that for two poses. So just having that off to one side. We're going to start standing. So coming onto your mat. And if you don't have a mat, then just checking in and making sure your feet are not going to slide on the surface. Not wearing socks, good to getting into bare feet. All right, let's take a few moments to center. Before you center, just move your body very gently, wake it up. Where do you need the movement? Every day it might be different. For every person, it might be different. Just a little movement, and then find some stillness. Find a steady position for feet. You can move them, and then find the stillness and connect. And feel steady and strong in your legs. Let your spine be nice and long and tall. And then to draw your attention inward, the invitation is to lower your gaze to a point on the ground or close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Checking in with your head and neck. You want to check, you're aiming to have the crown of the head over the spine. So another cue for that is just thinking about ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over knees, knees over ankles. And with your gaze lowered to reduce distractions, I invite you to place your palms on your thighs, fingertips pointing down, just a very light touch. And then I invite you to gather your attention and bring it closer to your body. Just take in your body as it is right now, as you arrive here on your mat today for this practice. And then zoom in to focus just on your breath. Just noticing it, letting the breath flow with ease through you. Seeing how your focus on the breath assists you in drawing your attention inward. And then for the pranayama today, I'm going to do a breath practice that is cooling, that brings, that calms down the heat, that's bringing you into your body after at the end of a week, after you've expended your energy. This just helps to cool the body down. And so I'll ask you to take a big deep inhale, and on the exhale, I'll invite you to stick your tongue out and curl the tongue. And then exhale through that curled tongue, which will slow the exhale down. And don't worry if your tongue doesn't curl. Apparently only 65% of humans have that capacity to curl their tongue like this. If you can, you already know it. And if you can't, you already know it. And if that's the case, then I invite you just to purse your lips and blow out like you're blowing out candles. Okay? Let's do that one together, and then I'll let you do 2 rounds on your own. So I invite you to take a big, deep, exaggerated breath in through the nose. And curl your tongue and open your mouth and exhale through the curled tongue. Doesn't matter if you're spitting. We're all practicing alone. And now doing that practice again on your own. 2 more rounds of breath. Big inhale. One more round. When you finish that exhale, release the breath practice. Let your hands meet at your center, at your heart, in Anjali Mudra. Press your palms together and your fingertips and your thumbs. And take a moment and set an intention for this practice. Single word. What comes to mind when I invite you to do this? That's what you're in most need of. Take a big, deep breath in. And an even bigger, deeper, slower, smoother breath out through the nostrils. And release your hands to your thighs and blink your eyes open. Now, checking in that you are in mountain pose, which means your feet are about inner hips with distance apart. Lift and spread your toes. Press down through the pinky toe and draw up through the inner arches. Engage your thighs and just feel this, draw the inner thighs together. Slight internal rotation of the inner thighs. Draw your belly up, open your heart, palms face forward, and let's inhale, arms out and up. Press down through your heels as you reach up through your arms, and palms turn away, and exhale, lower. And inhale, out and up. Lift up, look up, and exhale. Last one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. All right, inhale, sweep your arms up forward in front of your body. And exhale, right arm lowers, side bend to the right. Inhale, up. Exhale, left hand lowers, left arm lowers, and side bend to the left. Inhale, lift up, hands touch. Exhale, pull it in and release. Shake your legs out and step wide. And then think about bending knees, ankles, hips, and all the joints of your arms for the Qigong twist. Slight bend in the knee, and then just let your body move with ease. Let all the joints be soft. Let this wake up your body from head to toe. One more twist each side. And slow it down. And let it go. Come back to mountain pose. We're going to come into a forward fold and then into a lunge just to warm up. So press down through feet and inhale. Lovely, long, tall spine. Reach up, look up, Urdhva. And then I want you to just cross your wrists or your arms in front of you for the Celtic weave and fold forward into your Uttanasana, forward fold. You can bend your knees for tight hamstrings. And then I just invite you to step the right leg back. Gentle lunge, just gently wake up the body. Back leg is long. Lower the hips, lift the heart. And then let's add a twist. Right hand touches the ground. Twist left hand to left hip. We can lift up. One option is to lower that back knee to give you some more stability. If you're all right, then lift that left arm up and look at it. And then release, revolve the chest down to face the mat. Press off back foot to join front foot. Back in your Uttanasana, bend your knees deeply and add a little length. And then let's step the left foot back for warm up. Coming into this straight leg lunge, back leg is long, lower your hips, lift your gaze forward. Let's add a twist. Left hand touches the ground, right hand to the hip, and lift. And just maybe even pull that arm behind the plane of the spine, just to add to it. And then release, revolve, and press off back foot to join the front foot in your Uttanasana. Forward fold, point the crown of the head down. Let's rise up, pull the belly to the spine. Inhale, arms out wide, and up, and look up for a little back bend, hands touch. Exhale them to your heart and lower. Let's vinyasa. Blocks at the front of your mat if you have them, or your substitute. If you don't have them, you can do this without. Standing in mountain pose. Connect your feet to the ground. Lift your palms up to the sky. Inhale, arms out and up. Look up and lengthen. Exhale, turn your palms away into the hips and bow. Come into Uttanasana, forward fold, and then inhale, lift up halfway. Let your body warm up slowly. Pull your belly to the spine, pull your shoulder blades together, and reach out long to the crown of your head. And then exhale back to your Uttanasana, forward fold. Step the right foot back, straight leg lunge. Lower the hips, lift the heart. Take the blocks away and step back, downward facing dog. Take a little time if you want to warm up by bending knees, both of them or one of them. Just having a little bit of movement. Check in with the head and neck. You're not adding any tension. Let that go. Keep breathing. And on your next inhale, shift forward to plank. Squeeze everything. Draw your energy to the midline. Feel strong in your shoulders. Push back through your heels. If you are not quite warmed up, bring knees to the mat or stay in full plank as we lower. Exhale. When you get down there, press down through the lower half of your body. And you might stay at baby cobra with bent elbows, or you might be ready to have full cobra and lengthen the arms. Exhale, lower, tuck your toes. Inhale to table. Exhale, lift the hips up, downward facing dog. And find the pose and find some stillness. Find your breath and deepen it. Slow it down. Try to lift the hips up high and then push the weight of the hips back towards the heels. Spread your fingers out wide like a starfish. Press into the index finger mound and the thumb. On an inhale, right leg rises long behind you. Lengthen. Exhale, bend the knee. Pull it to your ribs and step it forward for your straight leg lunge. Lower the hips. Lift your gaze. Then press off back foot to join the front foot. Find yourself in Uttanasana. See about adding a little length to your legs. So point the crown of the head down. Pull your belly in. And inhale, reverse swan dive. Arms out wide and up high. Look up with the back bend. Hands touch. Exhale, release. Hands come to your hips. Let's go again. Inhale, arms out and up. Look up. Exhale, swan dive. Arms come out and down. Forward fold Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Step the left foot back, straight leg lunge. Lower the hips, lift the heart, and let's twist. Left hand touches the ground. You have the option of the left knee touching the ground. Right hand to right hip, twist. Lift that right arm. Add wrist circles. Flick each finger, then flick all your fingers. And then revolve your chest to come back down to face the mat. Spin the back foot and prepare to rise up into extended side angle, Utthita Parsvakonasana. Your forearm is on the front thigh, palm faces up, and try to find a line of energy from the back leg up. Extend that top arm. Perhaps you challenge yourself and look up. Try to keep this whole side of your body twisted towards the long edge of your mat. Long line of energy. And then release. Come onto the ball of the back foot. Hands frame the front foot. Step back. Downward facing dog.
several breaths here. Slow your heart rate. Arms frame your ears. Your gaze is back at your big toe. You're adding length to your legs. You're lowering heels down towards the earth. And you add to this by pulling your ribs to your thighs. Inhale, plank. Squeeze. Breathe. And exhale down to the earth. Release. And inhale up for your back bend. Full breath. Exhale down. Tuck your toes. And we meet in downward facing dog. Keep breathing. Sigh it out. Breathe it out. Come back to equilibrium. Come back to your home base. On an inhale, left leg rises long behind you. Exhale, bend the knee. Pull it in. Step it forward. Lower the hips. Lift the gaze. Let's add this twist to the other side. Right hand lowers. Left hand to left hip. Try to level out the hips. And try to twist. Then lift the arm. Add some wrist circles. Flick each finger. Flick all your fingers. And then revolve down. Spin the back foot. Place left forearm on left thigh. Palm faces up. Come into extended side angle. Look up to challenge your balance. Keep breathing, opening, lengthening and strengthening. And then release. Revolve the chest to face the front foot. Press off back foot to join the front foot. In your Uttanasana, lift up through your hips. Point the crown of the head down and breathe. Pull your belly to the spine and inhale. Reverse swan dive, arms out and up. Look up with a little back bend. Hands touch. Exhale up to your heart. Stay right here for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And release your hands to the side. We're going to transition now to focus on the restorative poses. So let's use the Prasarita Padottanasana, the wide-legged forward fold, as a nice transition pose. So step wide, keep your feet parallel, toes forward. Use your wrist as a gauge for what not to step beyond. I want you to think about hinging at the hip crease, not at the waist or at the ribs. So perhaps everybody place index finger right there at the hip crease. Take a breath in, lift up long and tall through the spine. Then exhale. Hinge at that hip crease and come down until your spine is parallel with the earth. Arms come underneath, or hands come underneath shoulders. If they don't touch, you could have the block underneath. Don't come into pain in groins if you're tight. You could also bend your knees. Now walk your hands forward. Keep your hips right where they are, and just let this stretch out your spine like a version of downward facing dog. Let arms frame the ears. And then release. Walk hands underneath your shoulder, and then walk hands underneath your hips. As far back as you can. You can round the spine, bow the head, and let your fingers, let palms touch and let fingers point behind you. And breathe, and see how this feels. Let your head be heavy. You can even shake the head no. And then walk hands back to underneath your shoulders. Place your hands on your hips, bend your knees, and rise up. And then heel toe, come back together. And let's prepare for our first restorative pose. I'm using the bolster. You can use several pillows, and I'm trying to get you to imitate the bolster height, so about 6 inches. Place the bolster vertical on your mat. If you have a block, place it underneath the head. And if you don't, then it could be your hard-bound book, or it could be a full toilet paper roll. That's solid enough to support you. And then bring your sacrum to be flush with the edge of your support. Extend your legs long in front of you. Your first pose is supported tree for a gentle hip opener. So let your hands frame your support and just slowly lower yourself back down. And check in. Adjust. You don't want a huge unsupported area here. So if that is the case, then you might lift your hips and place a smaller towel there. If it's okay, then you'll retain the prop. If you need more of a pillow for your head or neck, then you'd roll an extra blanket. Feel free to pause the video to get the things you need. So the first one is to lift your left knee bent, and then just let it fall out and open to the side. And we're coming into a version of supported tree. So invite the sole of the foot to touch the inner thigh. This right leg initially is active, and you press the heel into the ground. Once you get this left leg in position, then let the right foot fall. And your options for your hands are to be away from the body, palms facing up. But there are no rules in restorative yoga. So if it's more comfortable for you to have your hands on your belly, or for you to have your hands underneath your head, just experiment. Try to find a place that's right for you while you're encouraging this single hip opening. The idea of restorative yoga is that it gives you time to adjust and readjust again. So if this is not the right or comfortable position, then you're going to pause the video and get different prompts. And then we hold it. We hold the pose and we breathe into it. And this is an invitation to the muscles to release. To stop holding so tightly to the bones. To let the weight of the body be supported by the props, by the ground. Let your weight be held, let your body be held. We're going to move through a series of poses, and I'm not going to hold you for the traditional amount of time because one pose builds on the other. So let your left hand touch the outside of the left thigh and just help that left knee point up. And then extend the left leg long and switch legs. So you bend the right knee and just let that right knee gently fall out to the side. This, for me, my right hip is less open. So I can pull that snake pillow underneath as a little support. Try and invite the sole of the right foot now to touch the inner left thigh. And then just come into as much opening as is right for you. Bring the support a little closer to the body underneath the thigh if the hip is tight. And if you need less support, then place the support underneath the kneecap. You'll experiment and find what works, but you can hold this for another minute. Taking in all these extraneous noises, letting them come into your practice, identify them, and then let them go. This is what we do in daily life. It's just that we're bringing these distractions now into our practice, the formal practice. You got this. Taking one more breath cycle in this pose. Full in breath, full out breath. And then let your right hand touch the outside of your right thigh. Pull that right knee up. And then bend both knees. I'm going to ask you to roll to one side to come into the next pose to get the props. So keeping your back support just the way it is, but bringing this rolled snake blanket, we're going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana, where you bring the soles of the feet to touch. So that's the most important thing. Let the soles of the feet touch. They're not sitting down with your knees wide. Bring the bottoms of your feet. And then get that snake blanket all rolled up nicely, soles of the feet touching, the bottom of the feet touching, and wrap your snake blanket around over the tops of your feet and underneath your ankles and tuck it in. Now, if you have any tightness in your back and you have 2 blocks, then you might add another lift, which will make it less of a opening. If you don't want any, if you're very flexible, then remove this block and you will be just lying lifted on the bolster. Experiment, you won't know until you get there which one is the right one for you. And then make sure the sacrum is close to the props, and then guide your spine to lay back down on it. If you need a pillow, get yourself a pillow. Don't deny yourself these props. You use it. So whatever you have on hand, a hand towel, a sweatshirt, to find the right place for your head, neck, and towel, and adjust. Adjust until it is 100% delicious. If you don't want such a big hip opening, then take the heels away from the sit bones and make it a bigger diamond here. If you are very flexible, then you bring the heels closer to the sit bones. Arms out to the side, taking in this front body opening as well as a hip opening. Supported Supta Baddha Konasana. Just keep breathing, keep letting go. The idea of these poses is the concept of surrender. Can you find ease in your body? Yes, you can. You enjoy your breath in this pose. Encouraging low belly breathing. Hold the inhale into the low belly, below your button. Let that inflate like a balloon on the inhale, and then feel it all draw in towards your spine on the exhale. Taking in the distraction of the noises of this neighborhood. No judgment. It is what it is. Let it be part of your mindfulness practice to take it in, label it, and then set it down. One more breath cycle in this pose. Really paying attention to that lovely long slow exhale. And then staying right where you're at, but pushing the rolled up towel or blanket off of your feet. We're going to do a supported reclined twist. So invite you with bent knees, feet touching the mat. Take your feet as wide as the mat, either side. Arms out wide. Take a breath in. And then on an exhale, just let the knees fall to the right. You come onto the inside and outside edge of the foot. It's just a loose, see where gravity takes you. Just let the weight pull you down. And inhale, knees up to center. And on your next exhale, let the knees fall to the left. Just like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Just let them keep going and pulling your body. Pulling your spine to twist. And then inhale, the knees slowly back up to center. Exhale to the right and just hold them there for a little longer. And you might add to it by pressing that left knee in and looking to the left arm. Always making sure the spine is supported, the head is supported on the props that you're using. If you have a lot of flexibility, you can remove any block underneath your bolster or pillows. And if you have less flexibility, then have two blocks underneath there so that this is not as big of a hole. Pull your head to center and inhale your knees up to center. Exhale, knees fall to the left and let them be supported. Let them pull the spine. Press the inside right knee down to the mat and look to the right arm. And just drape. Let the body drape off these props. Let the body be heavy. You want that head and neck supported and the spine supported, but you're pulling the spine and twisting it. Trusting in your props. Breathing into this twist. And then pull your head to center and pull your knees up to center. And now to come out of this pose to move into the next one, I'm going to ask you to roll to one side and press yourself up to seated. Remove your bolster or pillows. And just get the two blocks. And remembering, if you don't have blocks, you might have two full toilet paper rolls, or you might have two hardbound books. So I'm going to ask you to, based on the props that you have, the next pose is supported fish. This is how I would do it if you had blocks. Setting them up with the lowest height of the block, and this will be for your shoulder blades. The bottom of the block is for the low end of your shoulder blades, and this is for the base of your skull. So there's a space in here. If you don't have a comfortable support for the shoulder blades, then just use this rolled up towel and place it crosswise on your mat, about a third of the way down your mat. You want your shoulders, your arms above the rolled towel. All right, so lower yourself down. It's helpful if you lower on the elbows and then try to find the base of your shoulder blades. Find the mat, reach both hands back, and find the base of your skull. It's the biggest, it's a little bit above the base of your skull. And I want you to check if you're doing the blocks that the block is flush. It's flush with the ground. It's not tilted at an angle, in which case it's not going to be that sturdy. You want to be able to fully trust in these props that it can hold your weight. If this is good, then you stay here. You could try it on the second height. There are 3 heights for the block. You want to find what's right for your neck. Or you could make it a little inversion with your head below your heart and the block on the bone setting. Once you find the right spot for you, this is a passive chest opener. You can decide, do you want the knees bent, which is a little less demanding, or if you want to have a deeper opening in the hip flexors, then you send the legs long and let the feet flop open. Arms are 10 to 12 inches away from the body and palms facing up. Remember, whichever position you've chosen for your head or for these props, you can change it. If you get tired of this, if you start to feel a lot of blood coming to your head, then you can change your position. Make this practice your own. Again, I encourage low belly breathing with your whole front body so wide open. If you want a mantra to guide your attention back into your body, I offer this one. Breathing in, I breathe in acceptance. Breathing out, I breathe out fear. Just an offering, given the distraction of this noise, to bring you back into your body. Another mantra I can offer you. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my mind. While doing this pose a little longer, again, feel free to adjust the body. There needs no need to be. You want this to feel absolutely delightful. One more breath cycle in this pose. Take your time. Slowly release that exhale. And then to come out of the pose, I invite you to bend your knees if they're not already bent. And then with the help of your elbows, lift your hips up and roll to one side and press yourself upright. The last pose for this practice before Shavasana is supported crocodile pose. I invite you to bring your bolster or the substitute of 3 to 4 pillows. You want this supported, the pillows or this bolster, to be the length of your body from the pubic bone up through the crown of the head. You will need one block or your book or your full toilet paper roll. And you're going to place this in front of your mat at maybe, whatever height works for you. Your forehead will rest here. Supported crocodile is a prone position, and we will open the hips. If that doesn't feel good for you to open the hips, then you'll keep the legs straight. Make the pose your own. Meet your body where it's at, and make the pose fit your body, not the other way around. So you come into a version of table pose, and you lay your body down. Now, in this particular case, the bolster is from pubic bone to collarbone. Let's open up the hips. So come onto the inside of the right knee and the inside of the right foot, and then send your leg long. Then come into the inside of the left knee and inside of the left foot. Toes point away from the midline and go off the mat. If this isn't comfortable, wiggle around until you get comfortable. Lift your weight up, readjust. And then we're going to find the right place for your forehead to rest on this support block. If it is a hardbound book, maybe you need a little washcloth over it or a soft towel. So check in. Try the different settings. Experiment. This is just right for me. Then let your arms be at ease, your elbows bent, and your palms face down. And release the weight of your body. And just notice the difference between lying on your back versus this prone position. This helps to draw your attention inward. This is a very helpful pose for breath awareness. You can really feel your abdomen on an inhale press against the pillows or the bolster and expand. You can probably even feel your ribs expand out laterally with an inhale. And then on the exhale, you feel the belly button draw back toward the spine. So really just focusing on that. There's no need to lengthen or deepen the breath. It's just an invitation to observe. Restorative yoga is inviting you towards meditation, where it's self-observation. It's learning to be the witness, learning to be the observer of yourself by looking softly without judgment, seeing what's here, being able to name it without being drawn into the story. Breathing in, I breathe in acceptance. Breathing out, I release fear. Make your own mantra. With your forehead, the weight of the head resting on the forehead on the block or the prop you're using is very calming for the body. Many, many different energy points, acupuncture points on the forehead. And so by placing your forehead at the weight of the head pressing down, that is active pressure. Just breathing, enjoy being in your body in restorative yoga, and enjoy your breath. We'll stay here for a while longer. And restorative yoga is all about time. And the longer you stay in a pose, the more chance your body has to get the message that it's okay to stand down. It's okay to release. It's okay to let go. And we need to do this every day. Our body is designed to be active, and our body needs rest. Both and. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my mind. All right, one more breath cycle in this restorative pose. Really letting your awareness follow the breath as it enters through the nostrils, moves through your body, and then as you send it out. Each inhale is nourishing, each exhale is cleansing. And when you've finished, I invite you to come out of this pose by pressing your palms, bringing them closer to your heart, and releasing the hip opening just by shifting your weight to either side, and then press up into table. And remove the blocks. If you haven't already, put something warm on for these poses. And if there was any particular prop that you liked, feel free to use it. You could either use that rolled up snake or one of your pillows underneath your knees. That's a support for the low back. And this is where I invite you to use that weight for your belly. A bag of beans, a bag of rice. This is a sandbag. And we're going to place it right underneath the rib cage. So on the soft belly, not so far down, but more where the diaphragm is. Think just where the bones of the rib stop. One other offering you may or may not have, if you have it, use it, is an eye pillow. iPillow is fantastic. Uh, with the energy medicine yoga work that I do, they say that you hold 80% of the tension in your body in your eyes, related to the optic nerve. It's all connected. Um, so have these props handy and then release onto your back. Find ease in your body. And then if you have the props, you can add the props. If you don't, no worries, let it be. The weight, the bag of beans or bag of rice, or sandbag if you have it, is right on your diaphragm. And the eye pillow is lightly laid over your eyes. Get everything sorted and settled and balanced. Let your feet flop open. Let your arms be wider than the body. Palms face up. Take a big deep breath in and a big clearing exhale out and settle in. See if you can drop in. Drop into this space. Drop into your body. Drop into being.
Gently begin to deepen your breath. Just have a sensation of the breath moving from the top of your body to the bottom of your body. Just tuning into that breath flow. And then ever so gently wiggle your fingers, stretching them out a bit. Roll your wrists. Invite the toes to wiggle, your ankles to turn. And then invite your whole body to move in any way that feels good. That might mean a big long stretch, big opening, arms above the head. Or it might mean pulling the knees into your chest and wrapping your arms around your shins and rocking. Let your body lead. Just tuning in to your body awareness. And then eventually bend your knees. And I'll invite everybody to roll to one side of their body and just pause there. Keep your knees close in, bent, and perhaps an elbow supports your head. Just pausing here, breathing here, keeping your eyes closed, keeping your attention inward. And with mindful awareness, check in with how you feel. And then check in, how do you feel in your body? Maybe those answers are the same, maybe those answers are different. No right or wrong answer. And put a bookmark here. Drop an anchor here for how you feel. This is yours. You created this. And then eventually press off with your hand and with an elbow and bring yourself upright. Coming back into Sukhasana, cross-legged pose with a vertical spine. Keep your eyes lowered, your attention inward, and bring your hands to meet at your heart in Anjali Mudra. Bow your head to your heart. Call to mind your intention. Take your intention with you. Let it be a guide. Let it be a guide to direct and funnel your energy so that you move in the direction of your choosing. And just repeating that mantra, that's another one you can use throughout the day, throughout the week. I breathe in acceptance. I breathe out fear. Feel free to change the words. Tailor it. All right, let's seal the practice with a single chant of Om, lifting our voices, joining in if you're comfortable, or just listening if you're not. Using your voice opens up the throat chakra, which is all about your integrity, capacity to express, and using sound is a release of stress and trauma. So the sound comes as you exhale. So let's just do one round of breath first. Exhale fully. Inhale deeply to chant. I invite you to lift your thumbs up to the center of your forehead, to your third eye, and join me in offering this Sanskrit greeting one to another. This, the translation of which is, the light in me sees the very same light in you. Namaste. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for joining me.